Welcome, great mind, to another interesting agric lesson. In today's lesson, we'll be discussing farming system. Interesting, right? So now let's take a look at the topic outline. We are going to see the meaning of farming system, factors responsible for the choice of farming system, types of farming system, the advantage and disadvantages of the farming system we are going to discuss today. Farming system can be referred to as the combination of environmental, socio-economic and technical factors that affect crop and livestock production in a given area. So now, what is the meaning of farming system? Farming system refers to the ways, method or approaches adopted by different farmers in their farming operation. The system adopted by any farmer will depend on several factors, which takes us to factors responsible for the choice of farming system. We have 5 major factors, which are availability of the farmland, economic factor, cultural factor, geographical factor, and the nature of soil. So now let's discuss them one after the other. Availability of land simply means the amount of land available for farming. This affects the system practiced by the farmer. For example, where there is abundance of farmland due to low farming population, the farmers could practice shifting cultivation because the land available for farming would determine the type of system practiced. Next is economic factor. Economic factors simply talk about the money available to the farmer. This can influence the farming system he chooses. A farmer with enough capital may decide to practice mixed farming because it requires more capital than other farming systems. The next factor is cultural factor, and this has to do with the cultural practices in the community of the farmers. For example, if the community practices land rotation, then it is very likely that every farmer will adapt this system because it is what is practiced in the community, like is the cultural practice of the community. Next factor is geographical factor. The nature of an area in terms of the vegetation, rainfall, and topography, which means the landscape, also affects farming system. This is why pastoral farming is practiced mainly in the northern part of Nigeria. Due to its abundant grass vegetation, relatively flat landscape, and less rainfall. The next is the nature of the soil. This concerns with the type of soil for crop production. Where the soil is not suitable for crop production, pastoral farming may be practiced. Now let's move on to the types of farming system. For the purpose of this lesson, we'll be discussing 2 types, which one of it is shifting cultivation. Shifting cultivation is the practice of farming on a piece of land for some years and then leaving it for another piece of land. It is usually practiced in areas with plenty farmland, that's abundant farmland, by subsistence farmer. The farmer may decide to come back to that particular land which has been left fallow, which means without cultivation, for several years. The period of no cultivation is termed bush fallow. That is why shifting cultivation is also referred to as bush fallowing. Now let's look at the advantages of bush fallowing or shifting cultivation. 1. It helps to control soil erosion. 2. It prevents the rapid spread of crop pests and diseases. 3. It reduces the cost of production in terms of fertilizer application and erosion control. Now the disadvantages, like they say, whatever has an advantage has disadvantages. The disadvantage is that one, it consumes a lot of time and energy because of land preparation, because you have to prepare another land before moving from the previous one. Second, the farmland is usually scattered about because the system does not follow any sequence. Number 3, it does not encourage large-scale farming. And number 4, it leads to destruction of valuable forest resources such as your timber and wildlife. The next farming system is land rotation. Just as the name implied, rotation. Land rotation is an improved or modified system of shifting cultivation. Just that in this system, it involves dividing a particular or available farmland into portions. The farmer cultivates or farms on a particular portion for some time before moving to the next portion in a definite order. This system is majorly practiced in areas where farmlands are limited and crops are mainly grown for survival. Now, the advantages of land rotation. 1. It reduces soil erosion. 2. It helps to maintain soil fertility. 3. It helps to reduce the buildup of pests and diseases. Now, the disadvantages. The disadvantages of land rotation is that number 1, land rotation does not encourage production of permanent crops such as your oil palm and cocoa, because you are going to move from that plot to another plot. Another disadvantage is that pests and diseases can easily spread from the old plot to the new one. Alright champions, we have come to the end of this lesson. In our next class, we'll be discussing other farming system. For now, proceed to your quizzes, and if there's any question you don't understand, feel free to ask. Thank you, and remember, hard work pays. See you in our next lesson. Bye.